Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Gyan and you are watching GauriBot Talks, where we talk about anything and everything about robotics. So there are a lot of fields which are associated with robotics, and one such major field which finds its applications in so many places around us is embedded systems. So a lot of us who are from the electrical and electronics engineering background might already be familiar with it, but I know a lot of us might already be wondering that what exactly am I talking about. So to answer, all of our doubts and questions, today we have with us one of my favorite seniors from the undergrad college, and also one of those first few people who introduced me to robotics, Mr. Shaurya Jain. Yeah, so he has done his master's from San Jose State University in California, majoring in embedded systems, and currently he's working as a embedded software engineer at Qualcomm, which is one of the biggest semiconductor companies out there. So today, through him, we'll try to, understand his motivations, his journey, and his learnings through all these years, and hopefully have some really interesting takeaways by the end of this session. So let's get started. Hi, Shaurya.
Hello, Gauri. Thank you for introducing me, and it's good to see you after so long. Yeah.
Yeah, same here, same here. I think before we dive into your journey of how you made your career in embedded systems, it's very critical to understand what exactly is embedded system, especially, for all the noobs around here, including me. So it would be really interesting, if you can explain what embedded system actually means, especially for you.
Okay. So yeah. So as far as I know, I got introduced to this technical word, embedded system, when I was in 10th grade, and I just know that there was something called as robotics and there's something called as electronics. But I attended one counseling session at that time, and that time, like, my curiosity was always towards robotics, and so I had a question like how to make a career in robotics field. So somebody suggested me at that time that go for embedded systems. So to pursue that, you need to take electronics first and then major in masters in embedded systems. So that was the starting point. But the word embedded system, it basically means it's something of a combination of hardware or software, and there's so many uh, definitions online, and like everybody's saying different definitions, but most basic is it's the software plus hardware, and it's not exactly like it software and hardware which is used for a specific functionality. So one example I can think of embedded system to define is in a robotics field. Suppose take any mechanical moving robot, and there are sensors in that. So it requires embedded system, and it to control the specific features like detect the lights or detect the motion of anything. So all these things combined together makes an embedded system. And technically speaking, everything around you is an embedded system right now. Even a fan running is an embedded system, and even your computer
Yeah.
is kind of an embedded system. And lights today, these days, there are like smart devices everywhere around. So even
Yeah.
your mouse is also an embedded system, because
Right.
suppose you have a wireless mouse and it requires a microcontroller. So
Right.
all those things, everything is around us is even this phone is also an embedded system. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah. So this is
Yeah.
how I understand embedded system, and there are many fields beneath uh,
Yeah.
these terms. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a very nicely explained definition for embedded systems. But I think one important question that comes up for a lot of people is that how does embedded system differs from all the firmware engineering related work? So can you put some more light on that?
Yeah. So basically, like you might have heard of firmware software and embedded software and IoT these days a lot.
Mm,
So basically, these are like very similar things, and but these are all connected to each other. And so, as I said, embedded system is combination of hardware and software. So embedded software is like basically controlling the software which is controlling the embedded hardware. So basically, it's
Okay.
like understandable. But when somebody say firmware, so it's like a firmware is a software, and which is also an embedded system device. But it's a connection between hardware and software. So firmware software basically uh, configures the registers on the microcontroller. So like, these and it provides the communication between the actual application level software.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's one difference. Yeah,
Okay.
and IoT also IoT is also an embedded system which has networking and which can talk to cloud and which can send data from here to there. So that's
Okay.
just so yeah, these are all embedded systems, just little bit of difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for a layman, that's a really good definition. What was it about this particular field that made you so excited about it? That you just did all your actions were aligned towards it.
Yeah, so because since my childhood, I mean, I was always interested in electronics, and when I see something moving, and it's kind of interesting. So that's how my interest went into this field, and like it's different from software engineering. And like you know what you are coding in there, and after you code you can see something moving around. So
Yeah.
that's what the motivation was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that's a very beautiful feeling, when whatever you code and then you see it moving in front of your eyes, it's just so beautiful, I would say. That's the only word
Yeah.
I could think of. You know,
Yes.
that's very nicely said. So like, was this also the motivation, for you choosing electronics at your undergrad level?
Yes, yes. So basically my interest started from like from my 11th grade and 12th grade time, and that time I was like trying to figure out how to go into the robotics field, and I was very bad at studies at that time, and uh, but still mathematics was fine and science was fine. So that's why interest like came into this field more. And then like when I joined my like undergrad, I started my graduate undergraduation in production engineering,
Oh,
and that was like basically like I didn't have like that good rank in AIEEE to get an electronics branch, but I kept trying, and in the second counseling in second year I again changed it to electronics, even after everybody saying that production and mechanical field is booming industry, and the college which I attended had a like more interest in towards the mechanical or production. So,
yeah.
but still I took electronics because I had interest in this field. Yeah.
Right. Right. But then, like, since we're talking about the branch itself, like now, since you have achieved so many things within this field, do you feel that the branch actually makes any difference?
Yeah. So basically, when I joined undergrad, at that time, my mindset was like, oh, electronics is like if you do electronics, then you will get to go into this field only. And if you do
Ah,
mechanical, then you will just go into mechanical field, and there won't be any coming back after that. So that was
hmm.
my understanding during bachelors. But when I, like gradually when I graduated in like and after that I started uh, working, and then I realized like all these things doesn't matter, degree doesn't matter, and your interest matters basically. And
Yeah.
what it's just what you learn online and what you try to grab, and how much you can learn. So it's just because of that learning. So I mean
Yeah.
it's not, yeah, so you can easily get a degree in bachelor's, and it's not easy, but it's tough. But still, I mean, making a career, choosing a career, it's independent of that.
Yeah, that's very nicely put because you know, when you talk about that point, when we have to choose our college and when we have to choose a branch, everybody's like, there are so many students who actually get so sad about this fact that they didn't get the branch of their choice or they didn't get the college of their choice, and even I was one of them, you know. But uh, when you see after few years, like when you see your career curve, you see that it really doesn't make a difference, and as you said, it's like completely independent of it.
Yeah.
So right, that's very true. So coming back to the college time of yours, so I remember like you were part of multiple technical societies at that time, like the robotics club and SAE. So what all impact did those things have in your career growth?
Yeah, so basically, I already had interest in robotics field when I joined undergrad, and that time I was in production engineering, so it didn't stop me to opt for that. And then I started attending workshops for robotics, and gradually it increased my interest. And I like in the first workshop only, I learned so many new things. I didn't know how like without a steering, how can a robot turn, like the concept of tanks, uh, basically all those things. I felt like it's my next journey and I have to go for it. And then next I started uh, I started going towards all the workshops, and I thought that I have to join this club next year. And that was the beginning. Robotics club was the beginning, and in club we uh, got to learn many new things. And I still remember the uh, workshops we used to have, and in second year we used to help in the workshop, providing the workshops. So those things I still remember, and I still remember those topics, even the names of ICs we used to use. So that was kind of very, it was a good learning. And I think if you jump totally into what you like, then you remember those things forever. So
Yeah.
that's why, so that's why that was the motivation at that time. And yeah, and then in third year and final year I used to go for SAE Baha and SAE FE cycle. That, and
Hmm.
after doing all those practical work, so it was a good learning. And then I was clear that yes, this is a field for me. So,
Right.
that's the motivation that, yeah, when you like something, just try scratching everything for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very right. So, and then like you went to the industry after your bachelor's, right? But then you decided to do masters. So, what happened during that time?
Yeah.
That
Yeah. So basically, after undergraduation, during final year, and
hmm,
uh, TCS, that that company TCS used to come to our campus, and it take around like 90% of students. So
yeah.
so and I got into that, and it was like I thought it's everything. It's the end, and like after education, you have to start working, and that's the end of life, and you will get what you want. So when I joined TCS, and like within few months only, within 2 3 months only, I realized this place is not for embedded system kind of people, because it was only just the coding towards just the coding in object oriented languages, and also cloud related things, which I didn't like. So
Hmm.
it's because of the interest. During TCS, I realized that I have to go for some new things. And I within like few months I just looked for all the options, and I thought how where I can get embedded system. And then I thought about going for a major masters, and in which I can opt for robotics and embedded systems. And my first question was where to do it from. So
Yeah.
there's so many places right now, even online, and everything is there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought, why not go for the best place in the world, like where this thing starts. So basically, let's go to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so then I gave a GRE exam, and I written GRE exam, and then uh, my English was not so good, so I just opted for the best college near Silicon Valley for my score. And yeah, this is one of the things that the college doesn't matter, and only thing matters is how much you can learn and how much you can do the practical experience. So
Yeah.
this is the main thing. And so when I came here and I found there's so much of things around this field, and I didn't even know 1% of it. And yeah, that was a good decision, and it is a good decision, but it is a very hard decision. And you have to leave everything, and you have to come, and you have to study is also very hard here. And yeah, so but things
Yeah.
keep going, and if you have interest, nobody can
Mm.
stop. So
So when you came here, like, how did you choose your projects?
yeah, so project wise, I mean, I started master's curriculum, and it was like a 2-year program here, and every semester had like around 3 or 4 courses, and in most of the courses there was a project to opt.
Hmm.
In the curriculum, like
Hmm.
we had to opt for some project. Also, in choosing the project is also a very difficult task, and that also depends on uh, what. So basically, first thing is embedded system has so many branches below, so you have to
Hmm.
opt for the right place. Like if you are very clear about what you have to go for, then you can easily opt for it. So that time, like my interest was on the automobile side.
Hmm.
So around all the projects I did was related to some autonomous cars or self-driving cars, or some kind of uh, some
Vehicle
kind of
system. Hmm.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so then I started looking for the options, and I always thought about what I can do new and what's not there in market. So all those things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we talked about your projects that you ventured into. Another thing that is very important is what all courses did you opt for during your masters?
Yeah, so courses, when I saw the curriculum for the SJSU University, so there I saw like it had many different uh, many different sections, like which has core courses as well as specific specialization courses. So core courses you have to do, but specialization courses you have to opt. So basically the main courses you need to go for is like you need to opt for embedded software, embedded hardware, and microprocessors, and you need to take courses related to networking also. And most basic course is the uh, digital electronics course. That is really important course, and that tells you how that tells you the basic of embedded system, like the logic gates. So that you really have to do. And also you have to you need to offer some courses related to parallel coding, parallelization, like CUDA programming, or any other you can offer, so like GPU related things. Yeah, so apart from that, if you are into machine learning and deep learning, you can take those courses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. And if we talk about the programming and the software part of it, like how much should a person be skilled in programming to, to pursue these courses and also then to pursue career after this in
Okay.
embedded systems?
So yeah, that's a very good question. And coding in terms like of embedded system is like you really have to know C, and C is
Hmm.
the only language you will need in embedded system. And if you really know how to control memory, and if you really know how to program in if you know how to play with pointers, then it's very easy. So it's not very tough. And yeah, so you don't need to know object oriented languages. Object oriented programming is not required for this, but still that's a very good perk if you know C++. And if you know Python, that is also required, because nowadays everybody is moving towards that. But basic is always required. Memory
Hmm.
and memory optimization and pointers, and these things
Yeah,
are really required, basic things.
true,
And
true.
yeah, and
Very, very true.
yeah, and this is not very hard to learn.
Hmm.
This is the basic of programming.
Great, great. And then, okay, and then I think comes the most important part that I think a lot of viewers would be interested in knowing about. Job का क्या scene है? So, like after the masters,
Mhm.
like how was the job scene like, and like what
Hmm.
all did you do to get into Qualcomm?
Okay, so basically, first thing, it's a myth that coming to US and doing masters gets you jobs easily. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इसमें जो बहुत मतलब बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत लगती है. And
Hmm.
you have to really give your best. And so for my experience, so on an average, people do get jobs here after applying for around like uh, after giving around 20 30 interviews. That's an average here. So but in
Hmm.
my case, it was like uh, I had to apply for around 4,000 applications. And no, not, I mean, it's not the it's a very big number, I know, but still, this is what we had to do. And I had to go to all the job portals. Like, first one is LinkedIn, Zip Recruiter, and whatnot. There was so much, 6 to 7 portals, and I had to daily apply around 100 applications on all of that. And so it is went over on the daily basis for 8 to 9 months. And yeah, so after applying for all these applications, and then I only got like a recruiter calls for around 112 112 opportunities. And
Hmm.
in that, like, I had to give 110 phone calls and 112 phone calls. And after that, uh, I was only basically shortlisted for around 12 companies. And in that also, only three opportunities I was able to crack. I
Yeah.
mean, but still, out of those three, one was
Hmm.
testing field, and two was one was Qualcomm, and
Hmm.
one was Toshiba. And that was uh, like Toshiba was for 9 flash memory, and uh, Qualcomm was doing the 5G technology thing. So basically, I had to opt between these two. So getting into these two was very tough. Even like both the interviews, Toshiba, I had to go for 2 on-site interviews, full day, 2 on-site, and Qualcomm just 1 day. But still, it's not very easy to crack. So I had friends I had many friends who gave just one interview and cracked that company. But don't think that everybody can do that. So that's it's not that easy. So when you apply for jobs, you find there are many different kinds of job titles. And
Hmm.
mostly I was when I search on LinkedIn, I see like software engineering, and there are only some of the jobs said embedded systems. But still, if you read the description, you'll find even for the software engineering, there their requirement for embedded also in there. So, but my experience from all those job searches in market, like what I realized, if there are 100 software jobs, then only 4 to 5 jobs are embedded systems. It's not
Wow.
that much easy to get into this field.
Hmm. So,
Mm.
when you say this, that like the number of jobs are so less, and I believe the number of people applying for them would be
Yeah.
like really a big number, right? So obviously then the competition, it just goes crazy in that case, right? People fighting for those less number of jobs. So do you think in that case, is it the right time to venture into this field, especially in US?
So I think that we should not think about the time and the basically what is the right time to do this. So it's now and it's now and never. So basically,
Yeah.
whenever you want, you just have to start. And if you really want to go into this field, then wherever you are, like if you are even in India and you can't come to US, and if you are in US or if you are in any other country, it's very like every place has these kinds of jobs nowadays,
Yeah.
and it's always increasing basically. It's
Yeah.
not. I was talking about the time when like we used to apply for the jobs, but if I say about today, opportunities are even much higher, and because you can see nowadays everywhere people are going smart and everything is going smart around you, so everything needs embedded system. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And then like you also, like you mentioned about the opportunities in all the different countries. So specifically talking about India, uh, like you believe that India is a good market for somebody who wants to both find a job in embedded system and also probably venture into that field, as an entrepreneur maybe.
Right, right. This is exactly true, basically. So
Hmm.
nowadays, like I see so many companies starting up in like Bangalore area, Hyderabad area. Hyderabad
Yeah.
is like a booming industry now, and even Pune, and there's like many south cities, and also even in NCR area also, and even near Chandigarh also, you can find companies starting up in this field. And even like I have many, like I can think of 5 to 6 colleagues who were here in US and went to India and start their own venture. And
Great.
so basically it's all because like I think there's very good talent in India, and people are really giving their heart, like really giving their best in India, and you can easily start a good career there. And yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I
and
think that's a good booster point for a lot of people.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, because if we go 10 years back from now, then people used to think that in India technology, like Indian technology is like 5 years old, and US is 5 years ahead of India.
Hmm.
People used to think like that, but today's scenario, it's not like that. And India is very like equally doing, and in all over world, people from India, they are doing really great, and because of that only, in like they got technology to India, and now everything is like India is doing much better than any other country right now. That's what my feeling is. Yeah, because I can see this from my experience, like currently, like from my current work experience. So basically, uh, we have team in India also, which is
Okay.
doing the same thing like we do here. And so like I'm in 5G currently, trying to bring 5G. So basically, even in India, like people, if you guys have seen recently that Reliance Jio is starting 5G in India. So, and that's I mean that's because in technology in India is not old now. So if you see or think about like when there was 4G in like 10 years back, when 4G was rolling up, and that time US already had 4G and India got it after 5 years. So but right now it's like at the same time. So that's how you can see the difference. And
Wow.
it's not just in this 5G or 4G networking side. It's like everywhere. It's in all
Hmm.
it's in all field.
Hmm. 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 That's really Like seriously, I said this earlier also. That's very motivating to hear for me also, and I think for everybody listening to this, because a lot of time people think, right, that okay, if I want to make a career in a specialized field like this, I would need to go to Europe, or I would need to go to US to, because the
Right.
jobs are there. But that's not the case anymore.
Correct,
That's
correct.
that
Yeah, and
scenario has changed for good.
yeah, that has changed. And also, like earlier, people used to think that if you go to US, you'll get more money in jobs. But now, if you start working in India, if money is also good there, and you don't have to worry about like how you will settle in future. So
Hmm.
that's also good.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. So now, okay, coming back to your journey, what's next on your plate now?
So what's next is I believe that whenever like uh, if you are really looking for something, you should not stop and you should keep trying. And if you just got into one job, then you learn one thing, and then you learn one technology, but you have to learn more. So whatever you are doing in one job is just 1% of everything, and if you change more and more, and you'll get to learn more. And also the main thing would be like this is one way to do like to progress in your career. Other way is like you can start your own venture, and you can really deep dive into one thing, and you can like whatever you want. Like I said, I really want to like I'm really looking towards the vehicles and automation and automation of vehicles, so all those things. So basically I'm still focusing on those things, and I'm like I have thought about these things, and that's my future plans. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's very interesting to know. So, okay, I think that was a really insightful conversation that we had today. We had multiple takeaways, and especially anybody who wants to make a career in the embedded systems domain. I hope that this conversation would be really helpful for that person. So, coming to the end of it, so we do this section which is called Gyan Ki Baat, where what you think would be your words of wisdom for everybody out there. So yeah, what would be your Gyan ki baat?
Yeah, so like I would like to say that never stop, and even if you see things are not uh, going as per your plan, just keep going. So like I can say one my experience that as I already said, I had applied for so many jobs, and I was already graduated, and I didn't have money to continue in US, and just get like I really needed something, some job. When I came here, like but it's not just me, it's with everyone that when anybody come to US for masters, they have a loan of 30,000 30 lakhs to 40 lakhs. And to like after you complete your masters, you have to really uh, pay for that loan, and you really had like so much of pressure on you after masters. And even visas, you have like 3 to 4 months to be in US after your graduation. So within that time frame, and with that so much of loan, and with the competition out there, it's really hard to go for get into jobs. So just one thing: don't stop, keep going,
Hmm.
keep applying, and keep giving your best. You'll get one day what you want.
Yeah, so I think that was really motivating. Like we should never stop, should like always, keep chasing for our dreams, and we'll always end up there. So thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Gauri. And I mean, it's really you're doing a very great job to get these questions answered, and help others to know to pursue their career. And yeah, keep keep following this, and like, share, and subscribe to Gyan Sabha, and keep watching great videos. And yeah, thanks a lot, Gauri.